Hello, I'm back again with the salt challenge. How many spoonfuls of salt does it take to make the water run over? For at home activity number 3 for CUIN 613. And today our activity is simple, trying to predict and guess how many spoonfuls of salt will take to run over the water over the edge of the cup. So here is my cup that I will be using, and then I have my iodized salt and some water and a spoon, of course. My prediction is I think that it is going to take about, I say about 5 is in my head, but I'm going to say about 10 spoonfuls of water, maybe not. No, I'll go back in the middle, about five spoonfuls of water, because in my mind, I'm thinking that the salt is not going to weigh enough for it to run over easily, and that salt is soluble in water, so it's going to dissolve. So maybe I should stick to 10. Okay, I'm going to stick with 10 spoonfuls of salt to have it to run over. So let's get right into the experiment, shall we? So for here, I just sped the video up. I'm just setting it up, pouring in the water, and about to start the experiment with adding the salt for the spoonfuls of water. So I'm going to pour salt, 10 spoonfuls of salt, actually. Uh-oh, some salt is already getting in there. That's not good. All right, so I got 1. Now we got 2. Water still going strong. 3. 4. Uh-oh. Some spilled over. Let's do one more. Let's see. 5. Then that might have just been me, maybe. 6. Oh no, it's spilling everywhere. Let's do one more. So here I did 7 spoonfuls of water. But when I watched the video over and I was editing the video, it actually went over in 5 spoonfuls, about 4 or 5 spoonfuls, because I couldn't see the other side of the cup when I was actually doing an experiment. But here I'm just showing how the water is going through the napkins and observing in the napkins. So for my experiment, I was right when I guessed the first time about 5 or 6 spoonfuls of salt would run over the cup. And the science behind that is I know that salt is soluble in water. Salt is water soluble, it can dissolve in water. But since we did not stir up the salt just sat there in the water. So every time we added the salt, it would just sink into the water, making the water rise. It's just like if you put like your finger in the water, and the water is gonna rise. So without us stirring the salt up and making the salt dissolve in water, that's why the water, that's how the water could rise to make it run over out of the cup. And how does this relate to our textbook? Chapter 3 talks about, the first few pages talks about observing science experiments and how we should teach students how to observe with using our senses, not with only our eyes. Even though this experiment, majority of us probably are going to observe by just watching it and watching the water run over. But we could have listened to the salt. How does the salt sound when it's going into the water? Does it make a sound? you know, and use our other sense. If we wanted to taste the water, we could have tasted it. But this experiment was only to see, using that sense, and observe by watching the water run over. So this is how experiment 3 connects to the textbook. Thanks for watching.